welcome to Pointed Logic Tarot. This is going to be a VR to Quinn over at Lucid Moons. And I think they said it was a tag from someone previously. So I will find all that information and link it in the description box. But I saw the video from Quinn first. And it is springtime deck pairings. I know spring is well underway. We're nearing the halfway point this upcoming weekend. And I'm really enjoying finally some warmer weather, the spring flowers, and while I do use any deck I want to at any time of the year, I typically lean towards certain decks seasonally. And I thought about I wanted to make videos about those, but felt like it would be just yet another boring collection video, and I've already done videos that showcase my whole collection, so it would just be decks you've already seen before. And true, anytime I do a tag or show a deck, it's one you've seen before, unless it's something brand new that I'm unboxing, which is hopefully not too often since I, only have so much shelf space. But I liked how Quinn did this by showing pairings because it gives you a fresh take and thinks about new ways to use that deck. It might give you ideas or just be a jumping off point or just something enjoyable to look at as you compare how the art fits together. So we're going to do my spring deck pairings, and we're going to start with a really obvious one, which is obvious by title. So we have the Children of Ostara Tarot and the Seasons of the Witch Ostara Oracle. Ostara is another word for the spring equinox. It's part of the Neo-Pagan Wheel of the Year, and both of these decks are themed around that. And this one is a deck primarily of plants and new growth, and this one is just a whole lot of different Ostara-related themes and depictions. So here, and also like Quinn, I'm going to show the backs. Here's what the backs look like together. They kind of work. I'm not super picky about backs matching, but I thought that was kind of a fun thing to compare in Quinn's video, so I wanted to copy them and do that here. But yeah, we're just going to... Should we do it with the oracle in the middle? Let's do that. I have modified this deck with keywords by covering up the phrases, and if you want to learn more about that, I have a whole video on doing that deck mod. So we have tradition, celebrate, family connections between the 10 of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. And in the guidebook for Children of Ostara, it talks about the plants and their meanings and how they relate to the card, which I really like. So there's a lot of really fun spring deep dives you can do. Ooh, 7 of Swords with self-criticism or survival, which is kind of really crazy to think about with the cuckoo bird here, because whilst it is kind of horrifying to think about it from the host bird's perspective, it is a survival mechanism. And then the 2 of Wands. And yeah, let me know in the comments as we go through what your favorite pairing is, or if you're like, nah, that doesn't work at all. 8 of Cups, soulful, alluring, powerful, Knight of Swords. The colors in the Children of Ostara deck are really vibrant, and the Seasons of the Witch Ostara Oracle are kind of more muted, but I do think they have enough overlapping tones and just all both have a naturey theme, so they work pretty well together. Oh, that one's really cool, isn't it? Optimism, beauty, and new love between the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Pentacles. That makes me feel like you found someone, kind of bumped into them by luck through teamwork or some other collaborative effort where you crossed paths. And it's given you a very spring, optimistic outlook, and at least while you're at the top of the wheel right now, an appreciation for beauty. All right, last one. Ace of Swords, Chicks, Nine of Wands. Okay, so that was the Children of Ostara Tarot and the Seasons of the Witch Ostara Oracle. All right, next up, potentially a less obvious pairing. Spark and Pen Tarot and the Seed and Sickle Oracle. Indie, mass market. The other two were indie, mass market. The Seed and Sickle really could be any season because it has 4 suits and they are seasonal suits, but it does have, a plant theme and an overwhelming number of springy cards. So I felt like it was a pretty springy deck. I do think I also use it in the fall a bit. And then I love the Seed and Sickle for both spring and summer because of its beautiful colors. And again, very fresh take. You'll have to let me know if the colors clash or mesh. This is yet another Oracle deck that I've modded by adding keywords. I've added them a dawn keyword and a dusk keyword from each of the 2 guidebooks at the top and the bottom. So we've got results and appreciation between the 4 of Wands and the Chariot. Ooh, see, this looks really cool. So this is the 7 of Pentacles with Rekindle and Rebirth and the Emperor. Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords, and the Mandrake with Vision and Measured. That almost describes these 2 knights, right? Maybe they're both visionaries, but I'm thinking this one has that optimistic vision, and this one is a more measured approach. I love too that the courts have the playing card suits hidden in the cards in certain places. So the heart in their chest and the spade in their sword there. Feverfew, preservation and nurture between the King of Swords and the Page of Swords. And you tell the suits for this deck apart by the little icons at the bottom here. History and meditation between 7 of Wands and the 5 of Cups. All right, last one. Persistence and tenacity between the 10 of Cups and the Knight of Wands. Cool. I think that's a fun pairing. Maybe art-wise it doesn't match 100%, but I think it's pretty interesting. All right, I have a lot of very plant-based oracles, I'm realizing. So now we have my only Marseille deck, the New Choice Tarot de Marseille, with the Flower Medicine Oracle. This is Indie. This one is unfortunately currently out of print. This is the first edition. There was a second edition. I bought it used on eBay. There might be following editions. I don't know. This one is in print. You can get it on the creator's website or on their Etsy page. Or I think on Tarot Stack too. I don't know. I got it on Etsy. So the thing that's kind of cool about this Marseille, and the reason I wanted to get it, is that the pip cards all have a different flower in each of them that is related to the meanings. Kind of giving me Children of Ostara energy as far as, connecting the a flower meaning to tarot correspondences. And then this one is it's a little bit like simpler in format. It's a mixed media cards, cards with mixed media art, and then a title of the flower, and then either a keyword or a key phrase. And by phrase, I think there's a few with just like a couple of words rather than one single word. This deck to me is pretty summery, but there are quite a few flowers in here that come up in the spring as well. So let's take a look. I think actually quite a few of these decks could overlap in the spring and summer months for me. Devotion between the Knight of Cups and the Two of Cups. That's pretty on point, I would say. Freedom between the Eight of Wands and the World. I really like the purples and pinks in this deck. Seize the day between the Pope and the, what is this? 10 of Pentacles? 9 of Pentacles? No, 10, yeah. This has got some, I forgot to mention that this deck has some really fun kind of like party fashion and even BDSM art in it. It's a modern Marseille. I really like it though because it's very clone-esque in that all the figures are positioned in the same way with the same colors as a classic, like, I'm trying to remember the name of that one. Why can't I never remember this? I'll put it on the screen. Just one of the classic, well-known Marseille decks. All right, wishes will be granted between the Two of Swords and the Page of Wands. Ambition with the Four of Swords and the Knight of Swords. And finally, we've got Passion, Azalea, between the King of Wands and the Tower. Careful about how you wield said passion. It could get you in trouble. But yeah, I don't know if this to you is color overload or just right, or I know I said one more, but like, or a fun amount of vibrant. New Choice Marseille Tarot and the Flower Medicine Oracle. Okay, next up is a fairly unusual pairing because it's a not quite tarot, but kind of. It's an oracle, but kind of a tarot. And a Lenormand. So the Cosmovisions Oracle and Story and Color Lenormand by Tarot Tube's own Kelly Fitzgerald, which you can get on Make Playing Cards. And then this is indie. I guess they're technically both indie, but this is print on demand. And then I just used a little craft. I bought some, at a craft store how you can buy flattened boxes that you fold up for like sending, gifting jewelry or whatever. I got a little stack of those to put various sizes of decks in if they don't come with a box, because although I do have some deck bags, I prefer all of them standing up on the shelf in boxes. And then this one is indie from James R. Eates, known for Prisma Visions, Green Glyphs, and the most recent one is escaping me. It's the all blue deck on numerology. I'm not remembering the name of it. Okay, anyway, so let's take a look at these two together. They're both, so I have the mini size of the Oracle. I'm kind of thinking about getting the full size because the minis are really hard to shuffle, but it's very cute and it's really nice in a really big spread. I've been using it in Tarot Tableau experimenting lately. And it also has cards that are pretty seasonal, so you could say any suit could like be the lead for a seasonal deck. And I've just been really enjoying learning Lenormand. Is this in order? Let me shuffle it real quick. Because it's very, it's really cool to have something abstract. I don't have any really abstract decks until this one. It's a watercolor that Kelly did, and it's really provocative, even though it also is like a standard Lenormand with its classic meanings. So it's fun to read it paired with other things that are not Lenormand. And I will say I typically would do several of these cards and maybe one or two of these. So it would almost be more accurate to have like this as our stack. I don't know. I think just for sake of showing more cards, we'll do it like this. I don't know if it really matters. But anyway, so here we have Tree, Between the Cosmic Tree, and Seven of Embers. Wow. You know what I just realized? I've been really bad at showing backs this whole time. Too late now, I suppose. I apologize. Here's the backs of these. And the backs of these. They go together, if nothing else, for the kind of rainbow effect in the center here. Okay, oh my goodness, this is funny. So we have birds, Between Life on Earth, and the Eight of Birds. Clouds, Between the Elementalist, and Seven of Birds. Stars, Between the Crow and the Pelican. Mice, Between the Swan and the Phoenix. The Tower, Between Karma and the Four of Embers. This pairing just feels powerful or magical in some way. I don't know how to describe it. Does it even feel springy to you? Let me know. The two suits that really feel like spring to me is the Lotus suit and the Tree suit in this deck, which are cups are lotuses and trees are pentacles. Okay, again, look at not only is this show lilies, but the art looks like water lilies to me. So, and then we've got lotuses. So we've got lily between sacrifice and 9 of lotuses. The key between the ace of lotuses and the protector. We'll do one more. So this deck does not have a man-woman card. It has a querent and significant, which I appreciate. So we've got the querent between the 2 of lotuses and the 2 of trees. A lot to balance there. Really cool. So yeah, I really like this pairing. I've been using it a ton. Not just even for like the springiness, but just the depth of readings I get. And also the size of both decks are small, so they fit well together in their little tableaus and spreads that I've been doing. And the Cosmovisions guidebook has what do you call it? It has a tableau in there that talks about being inspired by Lenormand. So that's kind of cool. Okay. 2 more. We'll do another slightly more like unusual one, which is a pairing of playing cards with a tarot deck. So we've got the Yonasa Yaos Tarot, 5th edition, because I have the 6th as well, but the 5th really gives me that spring energy, the wildness. Like when I really first started using this deck, I was like, it's beltane energy. So it fits for me the strongest in spring anyway, without a pairing. And then the Sensu Fusion Hanafuda deck. Hanafuda means flower cards in Japanese. But this is a fusion deck which has your French suited playing cards and Hanafuda overlapping. And it's again a seasonal deck where there are actually 12 suits, one for each month of 4 cards, and then some additional cards to add up to, I think it adds up to a total of 54 because it has jokers. This has a lot of colors, but it also still has a distinct color palette. And Yonasa Yaos is known for, oh, here's the backs. I think the backs also look good together. Yonasa Yaos, I feel, also has, for each of her decks, distinct color palettes. This one is very green. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on if you pair playing cards with tarot. I do, but I usually draw one tarot card as like the significator or the theme, and then the reading itself is mostly playing cards. So it's interesting to look at it like this because I don't think I would typically read it this way. But it's cool. You could also read, I don't know if anyone has majors only decks. I don't have, do I have any? I do have one technically, which is Star Trek The Animated Series 22 card deck. But you can, those cards have the same backs and card stock and size as the other Star Trek Tarot by the same creator. And so you can like mix and match is sort of the point of that. But all that to say is any deck can become a majors only deck if you pull out the majors. But because the playing cards overlap a lot with tarot, because the suits are, they evolved from tarot suits. You could do a majors only deck and then, use these as your supplemental minors too. I'm still learning how to read this playing card deck in particular because I'm trying to incorporate the seasonality. And there's some icons here that are both for games and for indicating the suit. Obviously, so there's the suit of diamonds, but there's also the suit of pampas grass. And then there's, I don't remember what this is for Hanafuda games like Koi Koi. Okay, too much talking. So here's the King of Pentacles, Judgment, and the Eight of Diamonds. See, very both flower heavy decks, which I think is fun. And I find the pippiness of this, which is a Marseille inspired deck, but not at all Marseille imagery. But the interpretations are Marseille inspired. I find the pippiness works well with cards that are very, primarily pips. Although it's really kind of fun because this is a very scenic deck of playing cards, which is atypical. Okay, too much talking. I'm sorry. I'm in a chatty mood. Three of Spades between the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. Queen of Clubs between the Chariot and the Emperor. Oh, that's really cool. Look at the purples. That's fun. That to me reads like, what are you going to decide? Are you going to be rigid? Are you just going to take off? Are you going to balance it? What does your heart or your passion say? The King of Hearts between the Nine of Pentacles and the Devil. I am sorry about all the noise upstairs, y'all. I do not know what is going on with my partner and kiddo. My kiddo's supposed to be asleep, and my partner knows I'm filming, but my kiddo keeps being upset, and my partner keeps going and checking on them, like a good person should, and it's causing a whole lot of noise. But they haven't called me for help, so I'm going to continue. Okay, Seven of Spades, the Warthog card, or the Boar card, with the Eight of Wands. There's some speed in both of these, and the Three of Swords. Seven of Hearts with the Nine of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Aren't these cool? I would love your thoughts. Or if you're like looking through, do any of these interpretations, not mine necessarily, but just the cards itself really jump out at you? Or is it a lot of work to extract meaning out of, either this deck or this deck? So we have Death, the unnamed major, King of Swords, who's very intimidating looking, and then the King of Clubs. In this deck, so each minor has a specific flower. So Snapdragons are the suit of swords. And then each major has a flower individually. So like, with the Lovers, you have the passion flower and roses. That makes a lot of sense. This is a really cool Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords, King of Spades, and the Lovers. Like, I think I want to just spend a couple of days with only these two decks to read so many different ways. They look really cool together. And I think I've only paired them once before. And again, I think I pulled one of these and then a bunch of these. Okay, we'll stop here. Five of Cups, Three of Pentacles, and then Nine of Clubs. So yeah, fun or fail? Let me know. I have only one more pairing to show you, and that is the Lily White Tarot, one of my all-time favorite Pip-ish decks. one of my earlier tarot decks, just one I love the creativity of. Not a huge fan of the cardstock, but only because it's kind of fragile. And then the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. So there's a lot of like fire and intensity in these two. I use this one a lot in August as well, like in the heat and the height of summer. Again, there's this overlap with spring and summer in my deck choices here. But I think it works really well with this one. Here are the backs. See, I remembered to do it for some of them. I'm sorry, everybody. They match, I think, pretty well. Okay. Huh. See what I mean? I don't even have to flip through for you to be like, aha, I see what you mean. So we've got Fae. Misunderstanding and disagreement. Those are really fun keywords for Fae. It's really, really interesting spin. And then the Seven of Wands, still on playing cards, and the Queen of Pentacles. Vision between the King of Cups and the King of Wands. Yes, so interesting. Look at these like flower people. Vulnerability, soothe, openness between the Nine of Pentacles, which I kind of read as someone who's resistant to vulnerability, or who's like too good for that, or like, I don't need anybody, I'm tough, I have my own, I'm self-sufficient. And the Knight of Swords. The swords have eagles in this deck, and also incense, which is cool. The Phoenix. Oops. Between the Knight of Wands and the Five of Cups. A very heartbreaking, frustrating, angst-ridden breakthrough, self-destruct, and rebirth. The interpretations for this one just sing out to me. I get ideas that pop up right away. Maypole, celebration and joy between the Wheel of Fortune, or hey, it's turning, we've got a new season turning through, let's celebrate. And strength. And see, I love here how there's, the strength. So in the strength, you can see the infinity in her hat, but also a flower crown as an element of her hat. And then in this, yet again, it's a wheel that shows the seasons, which is something I gravitate towards. Action, shift, alignment with death and the star. Oops. You go over here. Embodiment, claim, inspire, and authenticity. Wow, look at this person. This person's posture kind of mirrors the person's posture in Temperance. Not exactly, but the way they're both facing with the arm outstretched is really cool. And then the King of Swords. Limits, self-respect, recharge. Or boundaries. Boundaries itself is a good keyword. Ah, look at this boundary. Whoa. Oh my gosh, look at these eights smacking you over the head. 8 of Swords and 8 of Cups. That reading is got some oomph in it. Okay, we're gonna do one more. Bonfire, remembrance, gathering in action between the Fool, and the Eight of Wands. And this is funny, this is a Wands card without fire in it. I mean lightning, but this is one of the few in this deck that don't have fire, because a lot of them are very fiery, which is why there's also a lot of candles, both in the Wand suit and, as you can see, in the cups, and I think some in swords. Yeah, it's just, it gives me a lot of Beltane energy. So there you have it. The Lily White Tarot with the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. What amongst these pairings was your favorite? I would love to know. I'll get the boxes and put them all back out here so you can sort of take a peek at them again. And I'm not sure, it might just be these two that I forgot to show the backs of, so really quick, let's compare those two. I know that I didn't compare these ones either, but I think I pulled them both out. So yeah, comparing the backs of the Spark and Pen with the Seed and Sickle. I don't think they match super close, but there is still sort of a round frame in both of them, which is interesting. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what decks are your favorite to use in spring, and which pairing was your favorite in this one. Thanks so much for watching, and again, go check out Quinn's video from Lucid Moons and check out the tag itself. I will, appropriately put the tag in the title, but Quinn's title was something like Spring Deck Pairings or something like that. Thanks so much, and take care.